The 2026 World Cup is right around the corner, and let me tell you, the expanded tournament format, that is definitely not the only massive overhaul we need to talk about today. FIFA has quietly dropped some of the most dramatic, game-changing rule updates we have seen in years. Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through these changes today, because, well, if you think you know the rules of football right now, you might want to think again. The game is going to look fundamentally different this summer, and we're going to break down exactly how. Okay, let's dive into this, because some of these updates are genuinely wild. We're talking about incredibly strict new countdowns that will completely alter the rhythm of a match. And yes, literal red cards being handed out just for a player covering their mouth. We're going to unpack 6 discrete major rule changes that are all designed to solve some of the sport's most persistent on-field problems. We're going to navigate through this explainer using a super clear problem and solution framework. First up, speeding up the game. Second, expanded VAR powers. And third, strict player conduct rules. Starting off with Section 1, speeding up the game and eliminating time-wasting tactics. We all know that annoying old behavior, right? Where a team takes the lead and suddenly every single throw-in takes an absolute eternity. Well, FIFA is officially trying to solve this with rule number 1, the 5-second countdown. They are introducing a literal ticking clock into the game. Referees will now use a highly visible 5-second countdown for throw-ins and goal kicks. If a player doesn't take a throw-in within those 5 seconds, the whistle blows and the ball is immediately handed right over to the opposing team. The contrast here is incredible when it comes to goal kicks. In the past, delaying a goal kick might eventually earn a goalkeeper a yellow card, but it successfully wasted precious time. Under the new rules, if a goalkeeper dilly-dollies, the opposing team is awarded an instant corner kick. I mean, think about the intense, immediate pressure this puts on goalkeepers. A simple delay tactic instantly transforms into a massive scoring opportunity for the other side. Keeping our pace incredibly swift here, let's look at rule number 2, the 10-second sub-sprint. This officially ends the dramatic, slow stroll off the pitch. We've all seen it, a player getting substituted, slowly walking to the sideline, soaking in the applause, or just killing time. Now, a substituted player has exactly 10 seconds to leave the field by the absolute nearest boundary line. If they fail to make it off in 10 seconds, the replacement cannot immediately enter. The replacement actually has to wait until the next stoppage in play, after at least 1 full minute of action has passed. And this brilliantly illustrates just how impactful this can be. In a recent friendly match, Iceland actually messed up their substitution timing under this exact new framework. Because of that delay, their replacement was held back, and Japan benefited tremendously. Iceland was actually forced to play with only 10 men on the pitch for nearly 2 full minutes. It's a huge tactical penalty for simply walking too slowly. Capping off our rapid-fire ticking clock sequence is rule number 3, the 1-minute injury wait. This specifically applies to outfield players who are treated by medical staff directly on the pitch. Once play restarts, that treated player must remain off the field for a minimum of 1 full minute. This rule strictly targets those fake injuries designed to disrupt an opponent's rhythm. You know the exact scenario, faking a cramp just to kill momentum. Now, if you go down and get treatment, your team is forced to play a man down for a full 60 seconds. It completely removes the incentive to fake an injury. Now, goalkeepers are naturally exempt from having to leave the pitch for a minute. However, FIFA definitely thought of the loophole. Outfield players can no longer drift over to the sideline for a sneaky tactical timeout with their coach while their keeper receives treatment. Nope, you have to stay right in position. Moving right along to Section 2, expanded VAR powers and new video assistant capabilities. Love it or hate it, technology is evolving to solve complex on-field problems, and the folks in the video booth are getting considerably more authority. Rule number 4 grants 3 distinct new powers to the video assistant referee. First, VAR can now intervene if a player is given an incorrect second yellow card that leads to a red card and an ejection. Second, they can step in to quickly correct wrongly awarded corner kicks. And third, they are now authorized to monitor pre-set piece fouls. So the crucial point is understanding exactly what this last one means. Pre-set piece fouls involve checking if attackers commit blocking fouls in the penalty box before a corner or a free kick is officially taken. Guys, this is a massive change. Historically, all sorts of wrestling and blocking happened off the ball right before the kick. It was like a free-for-all. Now VAR has the explicit power to review that pre-kick physical battle and penalize teams attempting to create an unfair advantage before the ball is even in play. Let's step into Section 3, strict player conduct rules and zero tolerance for misbehavior. We are heavily escalating the stakes with rule number 5. We're incredibly used to seeing players cover their mouths with their hands or pulling their shirts up to hide what they're saying from the cameras. Under the 2026 rules, friendly chats with your hand over your mouth, those are still totally allowed. But now, what's really interesting about this rule is that if you cover your mouth during a heated, confrontational exchange with an opponent, you will be shown a straight red card. Hiding your words during an argument is now heavily, heavily punished. To understand the why behind this, we really have to look at the context. This specific rule is a direct response to recent high-profile incidents involving alleged discriminatory abuse on the pitch. FIFA's intent here is to ensure that all confrontational exchanges remain totally visible to the cameras and the referees. By making mouth covering an automatic red card offense during an argument, they're attempting to deter and effectively monitor abusive language. Let's move on and see how this builds into our final major update, rule number 6. This introduces an absolute zero-tolerance escalation for protests against officiating. If a single player leaves the field of play in protest of a referee's decision, that player receives a direct red card, period. And if it escalates, say an entire team decides to abandon a match in mass protest, the penalty is an automatic forfeit of the game. There is absolutely no longer any wiggle room for these types of demonstrations. So we've looked at the ticking clocks, the expanded VAR powers, and the incredibly strict new codes of conduct. The beautiful game is definitely getting a major operating system update for 2026. This leaves us with one massive, lingering thought derived straight from the reality of how passionate the sport gets. With all these strict new countdowns and straight red cards for mouth covering, which of these new rules do you think is going to cause the most drama when the tournament kicks off? I encourage you to really think about how this will change the tactics of your favorite teams. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.